tolerance. A good cause indeed, and a sobering start for two teams vying to separate themselves in conference. Hello everyone, I'm Garrett Jones, thrilled to be a part of the action this evening with you from Fulton. Should be a good one between two teams stacked right on top of each other in the conference race. Westminster coming in at 16-5, 10-3 in conference, and Webster coming in at 15-6, 9-4 in conference. Thrilled to have you a part of this one once again. Go ahead and give you the starting lineups as the PA announcer does right now. Big thanks to Kirsten Carney, the SID, filling in on that role tonight, and especially for her for having us out tonight. Hannah Cottrell is the starter at point guard for Webster. Naomi Johnson is at the 2 guard. JC Morgan, the 3. Addison Busink, the forward, and Kaylee Hegeman, the 5th on the floor for the Gorlocks. Westminster counters with Kaylee Dowler at the guard spot. Michaela Jackson getting a start tonight. Kendall Adams holds it down at the 3. Miracle Johnson, one of the premier players in the conference, at the 4 spot. And Abby Reese is the last player on the floor for the Blue Jays. We're about ready to tip it off here. Webster in the neon yellow uniforms with blue piping, blue socks, blue shoes. They will be moving from my right to my left. Westminster from my left to my right. We're underway here as Webster wins the tip. Setting up some offense in the half-court set, it's Hannah Cottrell, a freshman out of Steelville, contributing in the starting lineup here. Webster in no hurry to get things going out of the gate. They're working on the left wing. Down low, Hegeman goes to work and kicks it out for a 3 at the top of the key. No good. Fight for the rebound, secured by Webster, I should say. Float up to Dowler. Well in the court. They go down low. Miracle Johnson gets an early touch here. Jackson a shot, no good. The runner won't go, and the rebound out to Busink, one of the premier players in this conference, along with Miracle Johnson, a freshman leading the team with 12.3 points per game. Here comes Webster back the other way. Westminster in the white home uniforms with baby blue lettering. And the Blue Jays trying to get a break on that one. They fought for the rebound. Nice effort there by Jackson, but she couldn't secure it, and it falls aimlessly out of bounds. Webster retains possession. Just a minute into this one, scoreless. They work it down low to Hegeman, another freshman contributing, and she knocks down the turnaround jumper. Good start for Webster. They're on the board first. Heavy defensive pressure here brought by the Gorlocks early on. Webster looking to counter and going to need clean, crisp passes to avoid that trap. Blue Jays coming back the other way, trailing early. 3 floated on the right wing, is knocked down. That's Kendall Adams, one of the top scorers on this team. Comes in averaging 19.4 points per game. Her and Miracle Johnson form a fierce low post duo, but she shows she can expand her range as well. Now Webster back the other way, trailing for the first time tonight. Hegeman drew contact and will go to the free throw line. They're going to get Abby Reese for her first personal of the night. I'll send Hegeman to the free throw line. First one's no good. Hegeman, a really good free throw shooter, coming in at 73%. A redshirt sophomore out of Washington, Missouri, and St. Francis Borgia High School. She knocks down the second to tie up the game. 8:25 remaining in the first period. Nothing decided here yet. Heavy pressure in the inbounds once again. Westminster had a tough time inbound to get, but Webster brought extreme pressure and forced the tip out of bounds. Blue Jays retain possession here. The head men on the sidelines tonight, Jordan Olafson in his 12th season as the leader of Webster. 165 wins at that post for the Gorlocks. And of course, Westminster counters with James Arnold. Second season, 31-17 here at Westminster College. Blue Jays coming back the other way, 11 to shoot, floated up, no good. Jackson drove in trying to get a little contact, and she draws the second foul of the evening. Good time to tell you our referee crew this evening. Mark Wallace is the head referee. Kaylee Davidson, you just saw her make the foul call there. She is an umpire along with Bruce Lenz. First one is up from Jackson and good. Jackson works in the starting lineup, but more of a rotation style player. Her second one's up and good. Very good free throw shooter, 64% at the line. She knocks down both to give Westminster a lead. 8 minutes remaining in the first period. Webster comes back and sets this thing up in the half-court set. Gorlocks working around. They float at the top of the key. Dangerous pass. Hegeman able to catch up with it. and the Gorlocks keep it, but they float it down low. Bad decision there. Westminster fights for it, and Kaylee Dowler able to at least draw a whistle, and the Blue Jays will get the basketball thanks to the possession arrow after the jump ball. For those who might not know, college rules, it's the possession arrow is a bad pass for Westminster, squanders the takeaway, and Webster will get it right back. But as I was saying, the possession arrow in college basketball, no jump ball at this level, nor at Division I, all the way up to Division II, and obviously NAIA. So Westminster has it in the first half. Webster will win the possession arrow in the second. Just underway here, Webster trying to take advantage of the Westminster miscue. Working it around at the top of the key. Gorlocks trying to go to work. They drive the lane. Cottrell. Over to Morgan, who flips it on the right wing. A three pulled by Hegeman, no good, but she fights for the offensive rebound. A squander for it, tipped away. Once again secured by Webster. 2 offensive rebounds in this possession alone. They drive the lane and work it down low. Bad pass stolen by Westminster. It's Johnson who came up with it. Great play down low by Reese. Coming back with it. Bounce pass way behind Miracle Johnson. Kaylee Dowler a little too ambitious with that one. And it'll be a turnover. Into the game for the first time for the Blue Jays is Corey Reese. Lifted is Michaela Jackson. Those two kind of work interchangeably in this rotation for James Arnold. 5-3. Westminster with an early advantage. Just under 7 minutes left to play in the first period here from Westminster Historic Gymnasium. Going to work in the low post. Nice flip up and score. Naomi Johnson coming back the other way for the Gorlocks, and they tied the game. Reese now just in the game on the left wing. They work it down low. Another bad pass. Turnovers plaguing the start of this one. We get a whistle and a foul called on the arm. And they're going to get on the foul call. Looks like it's going to be Busink. Addison Busink, one of the best players in this conference just as a freshman. Gets tabbed for that one. Third team foul as Johnson takes advantage of it and scores off the inbound. Miracle Johnson, a 17-point per game score, gets on the board for the first time tonight. Now Webster with a chance to counter. They work it over to Hegeman on the left wing. Force in the corner. They force it down low there. Rip through move and maybe too many steps. They're going to get her for a carry. That was Kaylee Hegeman. Just a little too ambitious with that one. And that'll be a turnover on the foul. Substitution. Special moment here in Fulton. That was Miracle Johnson's 1,000th career point. She just needed one to march that total. She's now at 1,001 on her career. One of the best players this program has come seen through, at least recently. Congratulations to her on a crowning accomplishment. Into the game elsewhere, Mickle and Callahan getting some early action. Lifted in favor of Abby Reese. No substitutions yet for Webster. They throw it away here. Great job to catch up for it by J.C. Morgan, but her efforts for none. Westminster will get the basketball right back. It's a sloppy start to this one. And on that last foul, it was Naomi Johnson called, so 4 Webster team fouls to Westminster's 1. This is Kendall Adams, not afraid to handle the ball at the top of the key. Gets a screen and a release from Kaylee Dowler. 20 to shoot. Left wing 3. Early shot clock. Forced up by Reese. Fight for the rebound secured by Adams, and Westminster with a chance to reset. No hesitation at the top of the key. Kaylee Dowler buries it, and Westminster begins to separate itself, now owning a 5-point advantage. 10-5, 5:33 remaining in the first period. Webster now the other way, a whistle, and another travel. So we saw them on the carry on the last possession. This time they turn it over via a travel, and Naomi Johnson will get lifted in favor of Lauren Freeman, the first substitution tonight for the Gorlocks. Westminster once again pressured heavily. Kendall Adams bringing the ball up the court. Nice move as she crossed the timeline, takes it right up. Good idea there, but nothing doing. Follow by Adams after getting the offensive rebound once again for Moot. Webster the rebound coming back the other way. Rip through and a drive. Foul on the arm will be called on the Blue Jays. They're going to get Adams for her first. We mentioned in the open of the broadcast, it is Green Dot Awareness Night here at Historic Westminster Gym. It's basically a program promoting conversations and awareness on tough issues like domestic violence and any kind of intolerance. Great program here and a great scene tonight. Decent crowd on a chilly Wednesday night here in February. Jumper, mid-range. Nice shot there from Dariana Hunter. Also came in along with Freeman, and she cuts the lead to just 3. 10-7, Westminster the advantage as Adams crosses the timeline. 4:30 remaining in this first period. Adams pressured heavily. Gets it up top. Callahan down low. Miracle Johnson going to work. Gets fouled. Miracle Johnson, as we mentioned, such a fixture on this Westminster team. Came in averaging 17 points a game. 10.8 rebounds, 19 her season high. 10 double-doubles on the year, as her first one is no good. A 66% free throw shooter. Certainly not a weakness of hers, but you could identify any kind of flaw in her game. Maybe it'd be the free throw shooting, as both teams get substitutions on the floor. Michaela Jackson, I should say, back into the game for Westminster. And for the first time tonight, Hannah Cottrell's going to get a break. Jasmine Bishop into the game for Webster. Second one is good for Johnson, I should say. 4-point advantage for Westminster. Webster to inbound once again. 4:31 remaining in the first. 11-7, Blue Jays the lead. Down low, working it right back to Hunter, who just scored. She goes up with it, no good. Rebound Westminster into the game. Recently is Jaden Monning. She grabs the board there. Here's Jackson, floats it up. Reese. Tight passes for Webster, 17 to shoot. Heavy, relentless pressure from the Gorlocks and a throwaway for the Blue Jays. Using right back on top of it. She's played every minute this game so far, and the Gorlocks have needed her. They work it around in the half-court set. Dribble drive here. Nice move to get right to the basket, lay it up, fight for the rebound. Hunter, Bishop missed, and Hunter follows it. And it's just a 2-point game all of a sudden. Westminster with the chance to get them right back. Jackson comes back the other way. Spin move, floats it up from the mid-range, no good, but she got fouled. And Michaela Jackson will get a chance to go to the free throw line and add to the Westminster lead. 11-9 with 3:27 remaining in the first. Here James Arnold barking orders over on the sideline. Such an ambitious, really active coach at that post, and Jackson's first one is no good. Jackson is 64% free throw shooter, hailing from Eureka, Missouri and Eureka High School. James Arnold, an alumnus of Glenville State College, second season, former assistant head coach at Southeastern Missouri State University, so some experience at the Division I level, as Jackson gets the second to go, adding Westminster's lead to 3. Hunter with the basketball at the top of the key. The movement stops. They try to work it down low. Great play by Reese to poke it away and get back on defense after Webster got right back on top of it. They work it down low and flip it up. Bad pass there. A throwaway and into the backcourt. That'll be a turnover, and Westminster will get the basketball right back. Not a bad idea there for the Gorlocks and J.C. Morgan. One of the many young contributors and starters for this team. She's played every minute so far, along with Busing. As the clock continues to wind down here in the first, Westminster with a chance to add on. 12-9, they lead, under 3 minutes to play. Jackson, mid-range J, no good. It looked good, but it was well off, and a whistle on the Blue Jays. So they'll head back the other way. That'll be Westminster's third of the period. And Coach Arnold responds with a substitution. They are going to get Corey Reese on that one, so Kendall Adams right back into the game. Here's Bishop coming back the other way. Works in the right wing. J.C. Morgan. Down low, Hunter. Looked like she got away with the walk there, but they're able to flip it around, float up, no good from Freeman, and fight for the rebound. A pesky steal from her after missing the shot, and they cash in on the error. J.C. Morgan with the right-handed layup, and Westminster giving it away once again. So it's just a 1-point Blue Jay lead as they come back the other way. Right to the basket. Jackson, a bounce pass. Couldn't be handled by Monning, And coming back the other way with it is Webster. A chance to take the lead. A little wild with it is Freeman. They work it at the top of the key. Bishop who drains the three. Coach Jordan Olafson loves that one. His team rifles back in front as it is currently on a 5-0 run. Jackson in the corner, trapped tightly. Pressured the theme early on. Adams left wide open at the top of the three, and she connects. Kendall Adam, the Columbia Hickman product, drills it from the top of the key and gives Westminster the lead right back. Webster with a chance to respond. 1:34 remaining in the first period. 15-14 Blue Jays. Pass tipped and stolen by the Blue Jays. They're right on top of it. Adams pulls it away. Here's Jackson going the other way. Charge tried to be taken by Freeman well outside the restricted area. Jackson doesn't fall for the bait and knocks down the runner. 17-14 now, the Blue Jay advantage. Bishop now at the top of the key. Good movement away from the ball for the Gorlocks. Three at the top of the key is no good. Off the right iron and out. Rebound Kendall Adams. She's been everywhere in the first period. Adams, such a vocal leader on this team, barks the orders from the top of the key. 20 to shoot. Feeds it down low. Looks like that one was meant for Dowler, but it got down low to Monning, and right on top of it was Hunter to steal it away. Westminster once again throws away a possession and a chance for a substitution. Big group one for Webster. Hageman back in alongside Hannah Cottrell, and it looks like Naomi Johnson back on the floor as well. For the first time tonight, we're going to see Kendall Miller on the floor for the Blue Jays and Callahan back in. Under a minute to play here in the first. 17-14 the Blue Jay advantage. Down low to Busey. And a whistle. And it looks like they're going to get Westminster for a foul in the arm. Looks like they're going to get Adams for that one. Didn't see what they saw there. Nonetheless, it's Adams' second personal, 14th foul of the first period, and Coach Arnold's going to respond with a substitution. Don't want to get such a key player for the Blue Jays in foul trouble early. Courtney Wolf is in on this one. Only a minute played in the last game, getting a chance to contribute early. Naomi Johnson with the basketball. Webster can hold for the final possession here. 19 to play in the first. They trail by 3. Hageman. Freeman also up there at the top of the key. Cottrell with it now. Drives on the right wing. Guarded tightly by Wolf. Great job to at least interfere with that one, but they're going to tag her with a foul. They're going to say it was on the way up, so Cottrell will go to the free throw line, the first foul on Courtney Wolf. And we pull even with 5 team fouls each. Cottrell, good free throw shooter, 73% from the line. The first one is up and good. 4-time All-District at Steelville High School in Steelville, Missouri. One of those great small-town products that you see all over the state at the collegiate basketball level. Second one is up and good. So Webster trims it to just 1. This is Miller now, 7 to play in the first. Flip it over, bad pass, Callahan I should say. Gets back on top of it, and Webster's able to steal it away, but not before they can get a look. So that'll end the first period. An exciting back and forth affair. Westminster relatively in control, but Webster certainly sticking their ground after one. Your score, Westminster 17, Webster 16. You're watching Westminster Hoops here on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Back at historic Westminster Gymnasium here in Fulton, Missouri. So privileged to have you with us as part of our broadcast tonight. Garrett Jones here, proud to bring you all the action from the floor. Westminster 17, Webster 16 after one. Highlights of the first quarter including Miracle Johnson passing the 1,000-point mark, and Kendall Adams trying to do some of that herself. Gets right to the basket, draws contact and the foul after the basket is scored, and she'll go to the free throw line. Congratulations to Miracle for her crowning achievement in her career. Such a productive player at this level. And the one free throw is no good, but there's Johnson over to grab it for Westminster. Adams left it at the line, but she tries a three on the left wing, no good, and the rebound out to Webster. Gorlocks with a chance to set up in the half-court set. They work it at the top of the key now. Here's Cottrell once again. Dribble handoff for Naomi Johnson. 15 to shoot. Great moving away from the ball all night for Webster. They've got more of that going here. Down low. Great job by Johnson to get away and a steal there, and Westminster with a chance to take advantage. Adams in now. Such a powerful dribbler. Gets it back over to Jackson and pulls a three from the right wing. No good, but she got fouled and will head to the free throw line for three. Looked like there certainly could have been contact there, but nonetheless, a judgment call by our referee crew. That was Kaylee Davidson who made the call there. Adams did a nice job at selling it, and she'll go to the free throw line for three charity stripe throws. First one is up, and thought might get the bounce there, but it didn't fall. No good there on the first. Adams on the season, a 78% free throw shooter. Four-time SLEAC Player of the Week. Second one's up and good. One more coming for her. Substitutions on Kendall Miller back on the floor for Westminster. As for Webster, D'Ariana Hunter checks back in, as well as Jasmine Bishop. Third and final free throw coming for Adams. That one's good. 5-point lead for the Blue Jays, their largest of the night. Webster to inbound now. This is Bishop taking it across the timeline. On the left wing, guarded tightly by Kendall Miller. Not much an offensive contributor, but she does bring that edge on defense, and we're going to get a whistle now. And the foul's going to be called on Reese, it looked like, the first of the period for the Blue Jays. I beg your pardon, they're actually going to tag Miracle Johnson in that one. That's her first. Keep an eye on that. Hunter now in the low post trying to go to work. No good. Great defense. Rebound Reese for the Blue Jays. Here comes Jackson back the other way. Westminster trying to slow things down. This game has been extremely fast-paced. Here's Miller working on the right wing. Up fake from Adams. 16 to shoot. Corner three, Reese. No good. Rebound Bishop for Webster. Jasmine Bishop setting things up in the half-court set. Flipped over in the corner. Three thought about from Cottrell, but pulled back down. Heavy zone brought from Westminster, and Cottrell takes it right at Kendall Adams and scores. Bad miscue there for Westminster on the inbound. Abby Reese trying to just do too much, looking ahead of the court before she securely had the basketball, and it's a turnover, a jump ball not called there, and Westminster will make a substitution in response. Nicklin Callahan coming back into the game, subbing in for Reese. 2 team fouls each in this quarter. Naomi Johnson flips it up. Dangerous pass, but Bishop able to come down with it and sets things up in the half-court set. Flip it over to Hageman. Up fake. Couple dribbles over and into the left wing. This is Cottrell driving all night, going right at the basket, and she's able to kiss it off the window and score. Nice move there by Hannah Cottrell. 2 straight baskets for Webster. Blue Jays heavily pressed all night long in the full court set. Callahan hits the deck but is able to get it to Adams, and Westminster still with a chance. Right wing three, Kendall Miller, a little long, no good. And rebound Cottrell for the Gorlocks. Cottrell coming back the other way. Midi, no good. Rebound Johnson. A little too ambitious there from Hannah. And Kendall Miller and the Blue Jays come back the other way with it. Miller right into the teeth of the defense. Kicks it back up. Johnson, a floater, rejection. That was Dariana Hunter there that swat that one back. Not something Miracle Johnson is accustomed to. We also got a whistle and some extracurriculars involved. They're going to tag Westminster for this one, and they're going to get Jackson for her first. Substitutions on the floor as well. Kaylee Dowler, a starter, back into the game. And for the first time tonight, we see Katie Jones, a freshman from West Plains, Missouri, into the game for the Gorlocks. 21-20, Westminster an early advantage, 7:04 left to play here on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Cottrell drives again, leaves it up, dangerous pass. Jones able to come down with it, guarded tightly by Kendall Miller. Great one-on-one defense per usual from her. Johnson got a hand on it. Hageman goes right into the defense, and Johnson soars in and grabs the miss. Westminster a chance to get out and run. Johnson wisely slows things down and turns it over. Naomi Johnson coming back the other way. Soars in, draws contact but not a foul, and misses a layup. Westminster back with it. More pressure. Dowler right into the scorer's table, and we got a whistle and Webster basketball. Looked like it could have been a push-off called there for Kaylee Dowler, but no whistle nonetheless. Just a turnover out of bounds. Relentless defense off the miss there from Naomi Johnson. Gorlocks back the other way. Hunter turns right around, slowing things down, and she carried. Jordan Olafson's not going to like that one when he talks to his forward, the sophomore out of Norman, Oklahoma, back on the bench. Jackson takes the inbound now. More pressure from the Gorlocks. Into the half-court set. Face guarded by Naomi Johnson. Westminster attempts a weave here. Callahan back into the game, floats it down low. Johnson flips it up and in. What a play for Westminster. Unbelievable play by Miracle Johnson's got her fingerprints all over this game on the offensive and defensive end. She makes a highlight reel play right there. First free throw up and good. 4-point lead for Westminster. Miracle Johnson making plays all over the floor. Webster with the chance to counter here. It's Katie Jones looking over to her head coach for the play call. Set offense being run by the Gorlocks right now. Taylor Czar in the low post just subbed in. Johnson with it on the left wing. Corner, Cottrell. Right wing, back over for Katie Jones. Pulls a three, no good off the right wing and out. Rebound, Kaylee Dowell. Westminster looking to slow things down here, but they work it into the post. Callahan, top of the key three. Dowler, no good. Fight for the rebound. Jackson, great move to even get her hands on that one, but couldn't follow. And Webster the rebound. 5:13 to play in the second. 24-20, the Blue Jays with the advantage. Still working it around. Down low to Czar. One of the tallest players on the court this evening. Looking for the up and under. Went out to Cottrell. Pass got tipped. And a whistle. They're going to get Callahan for that one. Her first of the night. 14th foul for the Blue Jays, and a couple substitutions back on for Webster. Hageman back into the game, as well as Lauren Freeman. Lots of freshmen contributing tonight for the Gorlocks. Freeman is no exception. It'll be Webster to inbound from under the basket. Freeman pulls the trigger. She floats it up to Katie Jones, who made a little separation there. Face guarded once again by Wolf, just subbed back in. Floater no good. Rebound, Blue Jays. Jackson back across the timeline. Clean shot clock. Westminster a chance to slow it down. Floater now way deep in the paint. Jackson no good. Didn't follow her shot. Fight for the rebound. That one's going to be out of bounds off of Webster. So Westminster a chance to inbound once again from under their basket. 14 to shoot. Loaded up now into Johnson. Finds Wolf on the left wing. A three is good. Courtney Wolf, a big three-pointer, gives Westminster its biggest lead of the night. And the Blue Jays finally with some breathing room. In response, Katie Jones. Moving right to left. Takes a couple dribbles and steps right back out. Cottrell, 13 to shoot. Screen and a release from Jones. Left wing. And a bad turnover here right into the arms of Kaylee Dowler, who takes it right away. And the Blue Jays with a chance to add on. 3:56 remaining in the second. A 7-point lead for the Blue Jays. Mid-range jumper buried by Miracle Johnson. And a timeout for Coach Olford and the Gorlocks. We'll take a quick break and rejoin you shortly on the opposite side of it. The first timeout of the night. Your score, Westminster 29, Webster 20, here on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Back in mid-Missouri, so privileged to have you with us as part of our broadcast this evening. Westminster women 29, Webster women 20. Again, we'll have the call of the men's game as well tonight here on the YouTube page, so stick around for that. Webster coming back the other way, setting up in the half-court offense, trailing by 9, the largest lead of the night for the Blue Jays. They work it around here. Hunter, left wing three, straight away. Johnson is no good. And the rebound out to Jackson, coming back the other way for the Blue Jays. Jackson got the start tonight. Floor general calls the play and drives the lane. Floats it up and in. Michaela Jackson lowers her shoulder, gets right to the cup, and scores for the Blue Jays. 31-20, a large advantage for Westminster. They can breathe comfortably as we head to the halftime. 3:02 remaining in the second frame. Dribble drive, Cottrell floats it down, no good. Rebound, Dariana Hunter back up and in. She's been all over the floor tonight, down low in the paint, and Webster able to take advantage down low with Johnson out of the game. Here's Jackson, back the other way with it. Face guarded by Naomi Johnson. Flips it back up, Callahan. Left wing, Wolf. Great bounce pass, actually able to find Miracle Johnson on the floor. Dowler, a left wing three is good. Haley Dowler, such a relentless three-point shooter, able to score another one there, her second of the night. And Westminster extends its lead to 12. Naomi Johnson now with it on the left wing. Webster starting to lose their grip in this one. They get a nice movement away from the ball, gets it down to low. J.C. Morgan in the post, but she couldn't flip it back up and in. Great defense by the Blue Jays. They have a chance to come back and add on to their lead. Jackson now. Callahan with it at the top of the key. Float down low for Miracle Johnson. Back over Dowler, 12 to shoot. Callahan a dribble drive. They work it down low. Johnson flips it up and in. How dangerous is that for the Blue Jays? Miracle Johnson just finds new ways to score every time down the floor. We haven't seen much abuse since she got the start in this game, as Hunter been valuable in the post. Scores there on a flip-up. 36-24 the score here. Westminster with the lead. Just approaching halftime. A minute and 20 remain in the second quarter. This is Jackson now. Almost a giveaway there, but it comes to Callahan. She works it down low. More of that low post passing. A lot of contact. Johnson went down. Top of the key. Dowler no good. Fight for the rebound. Callahan up and back in. And she scores as we had under a minute. Westminster with a 14-point lead. Cottrell now. Right wing Morgan. Webster desperately looking for offense. This is Hunter, who's been reliable all night long. She scores in the low post and cuts it down to 12. A dozen points, the lead for the Blue Jays. This is Callahan dribbling it back up. Jackson once again calling the plays, looks for a screen. Gets one there and releases from Callahan, and she goes right to the cup and scores. Michaela Jackson, reliable all night, gets right to the bucket. Shot clock is off. Webster with the chance for the last possession of the first half. Rip through. Morgan turned it over. Westminster has other ideas. 8 to play. Johnson drives. Almost lost her dribble. Gets it back. Floats it up. No good. Wolf the rebound on the rip through. She got fouled. Right before the buzzer sounds at halftime, Webster with a costly error. They fouled Courtney Wolf and put her on the line. What a great first half for Westminster. 23 points here in a fast-paced second quarter. This is Wolf at the free throw line, and her first one is up and good. Westminster relaxes the defensive coverage and makes a big group substitution. Abby Stubblefield into the game, Jaden Monning as well. Callahan still on the floor, Corey Reese in, and Wolf shooting free throws. 75% free throw shooter out of Lewis Creek, Missouri, and Fatima High School. 1.6 to play after the second one, which is knocked down. 16-point lead, the largest of the game for the Blue Jays. It'll be Hageman to inbound. Webster desperately needs something to go right. Only a second and a half to shoot. This is Bishop who floats it up. Didn't get it off near in time. It doesn't matter. It sails well up to the left. And a punishing first half for Westminster. After they led by only one, after one, they put up 25 second quarter points, only to Webster's 10, and separate themselves down the stretch. We'll let everybody get a breather. Thank you for tuning in with us. We'll have first half stats and a recap of the action on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Westminster Hoops on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Welcome back to historic Westminster Gym here in Fulton, Missouri. After a full half of action, Westminster 42, Webster, the visiting Gorloks from Webster Groves, Missouri, just 26. It was a strong second quarter for the Blue Jays. They scored 25 to Webster's 10 and pull away. First half highlights, Miracle Johnson entered the game with 999 career points, a career high 357 this year already. She needed just one single point, and for a 17-point score, that was not going to come very difficult. She had a right-handed layup that put her over that plateau and made her an elite company, a 1,000-point score. Congratulations to her. Impact players tonight, why not start with Miracle Johnson? 10 points on the floor tonight. She leads all scorers, along with two other 10-point scorers. Along the other side, Dariana Hunter has put up double digits for the Gorloks. We have not seen much of anything of Ray Imamura and Addison Busink on the other end for Webster. Busink picked up 2 early fouls. She did start this game. No word on if she's injured or if she's just being protected. Imamura did not warm up with the team at the beginning of the game nor at halftime, so certainly with some certainty said that she won't be returning to this one. Also, Jane Williams, noticed in the comments section on the screen, some wondering where she was. She's out in this game, as she has been for the past 4 due to injury, according to SID Kirsten Carney. Once again, a big thanks to her for having us out. We're just about ready to take it back here in the second half. It'll be Westminster on defense to start. Webster in the road yellow jerseys. Now moving from my left to my right across your screen. Webster in the home whites. Now moving from your left to your right. We're underway here. Thanks for joining us and being a part of our broadcast on your Wednesday night. Stay warm out there. Webster starts down the low post. There is Busink on the board for the first time tonight. Looking just fine and healthy. Clearly being protected there by head coach Jordan Olford with 2 early fouls. Corner 3, Kaylee Dowler looking to get things started off with a bang, no good. Offensive rebound, Johnson puts it right back up, can't finish. And the rebound back out to Webster. Offensive grab for Hannah Cottrell all over the floor in the first half. Tries to drive the lane, did J.C. Morgan. And a takeaway, Cottrell on the other end, there it is. Look what she found. And 4 early points to start the second half for Webster. They pull back within a dozen. 42-30 now the score, just under a minute into the first half. And pesky defense there. Webster coming on, putting the pressure, tipping away that pass. Westminster retains. We talked about it a little earlier. This game has so much importance in the overall picture of the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. As Jackson started the game, started the half, floated that one up, no good. And Spar for the rebound. It'll stay with Webster. The Gorloks do have the possession arrow this half, so on jump balls of any kind, they will keep it. Westminster with the possession arrow. Right corner 3, Adams tried to bank it off the top of the glass, no good. Cold start for the Blue Jays to start this half. They start 0 of 3. And a chance to draw within single digits. That's exactly what Webster does. Hannah Cottrell steps up into a big 3, and all of a sudden the 7-0 run for the Gorloks has them right back in this game. A throwaway. Adams stepped on the line. A turnover for the Blue Jays. They are not in the game so far in this first half, and Webster all over the floor making plays a minute 30 into this first half. As I mentioned, this game so important to the conference standings. Westminster currently in 3rd at 10-3. Webster comes in at 9-4. If the Gorloks can steal this game, they would supplant Westminster's position. Johnson trying to change that. Coming back the other way, a transition layup, and 2 points for Miracle Johnson. Leading all scorers with 12 points on the evening and making plays on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. Webster with a chance to respond. Another steal. Takeaway for Johnson. Sloppy passing there for the Gorloks, and they give it away once again. Right wing three. That's Kaylee Dowler. Who else? Her third of the night. And Westminster with a little more breathing room. Cottrell now. Up in the high post, pulls up. Movement away from the ball. That's been great all night for the Gorloks. Noise on both ends of the floor. The Blue Jay ladies getting into it on the bench. Mid-range jumper wide open for Hegeman, and she swishes it. Kaylee Hegeman, a big jumper there. Really good shooter from all ends of the floor. Came in averaging almost 9 points a game. Now Westminster slows things down in the half-court set. Down low, Johnson flips it up and in. 49-35, Westminster up by 2 touchdowns. They work it around, left wing, Webster in response. Over for Hegeman, goes with the up fake, pulls it back down, flips it up, bad pass, Cottrell, stolen away by Jackson, and Westminster a chance to come back the other way. Kendall Adams, full speed ahead, right wing three, Dowler, unbelievable, Kaylee Dowler. Been all over the floor tonight, knocks down her 4th three-pointer of the evening. 52-35, the Westminster advantage, 17 points, their largest lead of the night. Float it down low, Busey going right to work and right to the cup. She lays it up and in. Addison Busey, quiet start to this one, no points in the first half. 2 early fouls, sat almost the entire second quarter, but here contributing to starting. Reese down low, missed a layup. Johnson on the rebound. The follow tried to go back up, couldn't finish, and she'll go to the free throw line. They're going to tag Naomi Johnson on the foul for that one. On the arm, that's her second. Substitutions all over the floor coming from both squads. It'll be Callahan coming back in as Johnson sinks the first, a very good free throw shooter. Callahan coming back in for the Blue Jays. No other action substitution-wise for them. J.C. Samuel back in, as well as Lauren Freeman. Second one for Johnson. Swishes home. 54-37, the Blue Jay advantage. 6:02 remaining in this third period. This is Cottrell coming back the other way. Westminster defense has been relentless all night. Webster came out with a press that gave Westminster problems, but the Blue Jays have weathered the storm, and they nearly forced a turnover here. Good defense nonetheless, but it'll stay with Webster with 17 to shoot. Inbound play here, down low to Hunter. Just back in the game, turnaround jumper falls home. Dariana Hunter, the Norman, Oklahoma product, has been extremely active tonight. 12 points to lead all Webster scores. They tip the passing lane there, but it kicks right back to Adams. Mid-range jumper for Kendall, no good, but she got fouled, and will go to the free throw line. And they're going to get Cottrell on that one. Second team foul of the third quarter for Webster. Jaden Munning is now on the floor as well. First one is up and good for Kendall Adams. As you mentioned, the Columbia Hickman product, redshirt senior on this team. All conference last year. She scored 29 points this season on 2 separate occasions. That's the most of anyone on this team besides Kaylee Dowler, who exploded for 30 points on January 19th, as Adams makes good in the second as well. 17-point lead, the advantage back up for Westminster. Freeman floats in the left wing. Cottrell thought about a three, but pulls it back down. 16 to shoot. Working around Hegeman. Right wing Morgan. Mid-range jumper, no good. Rebound, Hunter, put back. Great play by Dariana Hunter. Now 7 of 8 from the floor for 14 points. Miracle Johnson's been relentless inside and on the defensive end. But if Westminster wants to continue cruising this one, they are going to have to stop Hunter. Dowler feeling it from the outside, but she pulls it back down. Leaves it over for Adams, a three, and Kendall Adams connects. 59-41 the score. Kendall Adams having a good night herself. Leads all scorers with 15 points. 3 threes knocked down for her. 3 at the top of the key, that's J.C. Morgan, no good. Fight for the rebound, Munning. Westminster able to retain the possession. She hits the deck. Great hustle play, and they steal it away. 18-point lead. Dowler feeling it. That was a heat check there, but great defense from Webster. Forces Dowler to reconsider. She draws it back down and goes up and down, but with the way she's shooting tonight, James Arnold won't be too upset as she subs out of the game. Kendall Miller back in. Callahan is off the floor. Munning's off the floor. Dowler off the floor. In is Abby Reese and Michaela Jackson. Webster also getting a couple subs in. Jasmine Bishop in as well. 59-41, the Blue Jay advantage here halfway through the third period. Back up for Cottrell. Westminster now fronts a zone look. This is Busink. A turnaround jumper from the mid-range is good. And Addie Busink, after a scoreless first half, now with her 6 points of the evening. Wide open, Abby Reese in the corner, no good. Fight for the rebound, Kendall Miller, one of the shortest players on the floor. Threw herself at that one, but it lands aimlessly out of bounds. We're going to get a timeout. We'll take a quick break and update you on the action shortly. At the whistle, it is Westminster 59, Webster 43 here on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Garrett Jones back with you solo this evening here in Fulton. So privileged to have you a part of this broadcast. Got some comments in the live stream section. Tuning in from Ohio, we certainly appreciate that. The tip away here and a steal. Nice job by Johnson to stay on top of this one. No matter where you're watching with us tonight, we thank you for your time with us. Hope we'll have a good one for you down the stretch. Westminster in control, up 16. Adams wide open, looking to add to it. Airballed that time. No good, out of bounds, off Webster. And the Gorlocks now scrambling for answers defensively. For some who might be watching, you might wonder what exactly is a Gorlock. That's the mascot of Webster as Johnson gets fouled in the rip-through. That's quite a story over at Webster University in Webster Groves, Missouri. A Gorlock is a mythical creature as defined on their website with the horns of a buffalo and the face of a St. Bernard. Johnson at the free throw line, her first one is up and no good. It was chosen by the Webster students and staff in June of 1984. So a longtime mascot, the official representation for the Webster Gorlocks. Second one from Johnson bangs home. And suddenly it's back up to 17 for Westminster. Webster working it around. In the corner, J.C. Morgan floats it down low. Hunter a dribble drive. Floats it up, no good, but she fights for the offensive rebound. Goes back up, gets fouled, nearly laid it home. Dariana Hunter having a great game this evening. Leading the Webster scores with 14 points, 4 rebounds. Seems like all of those have been offensive. And she'll go to the free throw line now with a chance to add on. Hunter's first one, up and good. 52% free throw shooter, so you never know what the story is going to be at the line with her. Substitution for Westminster. Callahan back into the game. Lifted is Abby Reese. Second one for Hunter is no good. Johnson tried to get back on at the defensive end. She finally secures it and settled things down. Westminster a 16-point lead, 60-44. They lead. Adams a three in transition, no good. Rebound out to the Gorlocks. Cottrell back the other way. Right wing, Bishop a three, no good. Miracle Johnson fights for it, comes down with it, but loses it. And in the hands of Dariana Hunter, Webster with the second chance. Left wing, J.C. Morgan. Nearly turned it over. ripped through Hunter, floated it up, no good. Brown thinks she got away with the walk. Either way, it's Westminster coming back with a 5-on-4. Left wing, Jackson, wide open, turned it over. Coach Arnold not pleased with that one. And Webster coming back the other way. They slow things down here, trailing by 16. 2:07 remaining in the third period. Moving away from the basketball, Westminster continues with the zone look. Hunter, a lot of contact, went up with it, but didn't get the foul call. Callahan coming back the other way. Looks over her shoulder, leaves it for Adams, not afraid to shoot, but she slows down that time. Right wing Kendall Miller just into the game. Back up to Jackson. 15 to shoot. Bad pass, tipped out of bounds off of Webster. The Blue Jays will retain the basketball. Group substitution on for the Blue Jays. This will be Corey Reese coming back in the game, as well as Kaylee Dowler. Barnesville, Ohio native, says she's got her family watching. Callahan floats it in. This is Corey Reese now. 12 to shoot. Westminster slowing things down and calling out a set play. Callahan rips it through, 6. Right wing, Dowler, 3, no good. Rebound Webster. They finally get Westminster to slow things down and milk the shot clock, and it works to their advantage. Hageman back the other way. Back up Cottrell. She pulls down a 3, no good. Off the short iron and out. Followed by Busink, and she puts it back up and in. Addie Busink finally getting her hands on this game. Her 8th points of the quarter, and she'll go to the free throw line with a chance to add on. Freshman from Jackson, Missouri, and Saxony Lutheran School. 63% free throw shooter as Adams comes back on in favor of Callahan. Also in the comment section of the live stream, we appreciate your input as always. I was informed that Busink was a old-time grade school rival with both of the Reese sisters. So Corey and Abby Reese have had their days going up against Busink in the past. Here she is at the collegiate level having a nice day. Westminster a 13-point lead. Seems relatively small to the 19-point lead that they've seen at the most today. Right wing 3. That is good. Kendall Miller. A big shot, a quiet offensive player, but she steps up when she needs to. You see a perfect example of that. Under a minute to play in the third. Westminster lead back up to 16. Turnover and a takeaway for Johnson. Kendall Miller back the other way. Floats it up for Kendall Adams. Corner 3, Dowler. No good. Rebound, Naomi Johnson. She comes back the other way. Full steam ahead. Up with it. She got fouled. Blocking foul on Corey Reese. The third of the period for the Blue Jays. No foul trouble necessarily to worry about just yet for the home team. Abby Reese does have 3. She's been quiet in this one as Naomi Johnson misses her first. 77% free throw shooter. Jackson's back on for Corey Reese. Out of the game is Cottrell in favor of Katie Jones for Webster. 77% free throw shooter at the line, Naomi Johnson. Second one is up, and it swishes home. Comfortable 15-point lead. Shot clock is off here as we wind down the third quarter. Jackson now, heavy pressure. This worked earlier for Webster. Westminster able to jailbreak. Kendall Adams at the top of the key decides to pull it down and slow it down for the last shot. 13 to play in the third. Adams moving across the court, left to right. Miller a 3 from the right wing, no good. Fight for the rebound and the follow by Miracle Johnson. That's going to be the last shot of the quarter. Webster doesn't even put up a heave. And Westminster able to retain its 17-point lead. Nice play there to end the half, I should say the quarter, from Miracle Johnson on the follow. So after 3, your score, Westminster 65, Webster 48. Tune in for the fourth quarter and see if the Blue Jays can finish this one out here on the Westminster Athletics YouTube channel. back in Fulton. Westminster 65. Webster 48 as we start out the fourth and final frame of this game. Webster will have the ball to start it. And as I mentioned a little earlier, this game's so important to the conference standings in the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference as Webster slows things down with 18 to shoot. J.C. Morgan now at the top of the key. They work it down low. Floater for Hegman, no good. Rebound Johnson. But Westminster came into this game at a 10-3 conference clip. If Webster won this game, they would have a chance to supplant the Blue Jays for third in the conference. So as conference play winds down here, left wing three, Kendall Miller on the other end. Follow Johnson, no good. A lot of contact, no whistle. Busink able to come up with that one after Johnson couldn't stick it home. Johnson back the other way. Runner no good. Rebound Miracle Johnson. She has been everywhere tonight. A little too reckless with that one. Coming back the other way were the Gorlocks. Nonetheless, Westminster gets the basketball right back. Jackson back into the game. Pressured heavily in the backcourt. Pressing all night. Johnson left alone at the top of the key. Dribble drive. Corner three, Kaylee Dowler. No good. And she has cooled off tremendously after hitting 4 threes. Started out 4 of 7 on her night. Taking a significant step back here. Now at 4 of 9. Couple substitutions on for Westminster. Miracle Johnson's going to get a breather. Courtney Wolf back in. Abby Reese as well. Kaylee Dowler lifted. Two players have been doing a brunt of the offensive load for the Blue Jays. 8:52 left to play in the fourth, I should say. This one winding down here from historic Westminster Gym. Egeman now, top of the key, floats it down. Busink, up and under and good. Addie Busink knocks it down, and she's got 11 here in the fourth. They work it around. Good play to get it down low to Miller, and Kendall Miller, one of the smallest players on the court, able to finish down low amongst the tall trees. On the other end, Naomi Johnson tried to put it back in quickly. Got fouled but couldn't finish. Look at the top scorers tonight for Westminster. Johnson leading the way with 17, no surprise there. Kendall Adams as well, not surprising. The two leading scorers statistically. Kaylee Dowler as well, 12 points. That one switched home for Naomi Johnson at the free throw line. Michaela Jackson is added 11, Courtney Wolf 5, Kendall Miller 5 as well. And Johnson misses the second one. So a 16-point lead remains for the Blue Jays. Michaela Jackson back the other way. Almost threw it away. Kendall Adams able to stay with it. Pressured right to the end of the backcourt. Great pass there from her. Unbelievable play by Kendall Adams. The play of the night, no doubt. Pressured relentlessly in the backcourt, able to fire it down low to a wide open and cutting Kendall Miller and help Westminster extend its lead. Webster coming back the other way in the half-court set. A zone look, but James Arnold, the head coach, pleading for his players to help. 8 to shoot. Johnson in the rip-through. Contact, no foul called. 3 at the top of the key, air ball by Morgan. It won't matter. Courtney Wolf rips home with the rebound. Westminster with a chance coming back the other way. 69-51, they lead. Abby Reese a drive. Leaves it down low for Kendall Adams. What can't she do? Big play for her to cut. Wonderful feed there from Abby Reese, and Westminster playing some great team basketball right now. They lead by 20. 7:08 remaining in this one. J.C. Morgan a drive through, floats it up, no good. Miller got up to fight for it, but she couldn't come down with it. It won't matter. Westminster will get the basketball after it lands out of bounds. Kaylee Dowler back on the floor, Michaela Jackson off. No substitutions for Webster. Inbound Miller now. Over for Jackson. Reese, I should say. Trying to find Adams in the corner. Kendall can do a lot, but she couldn't come down with that one. It's about 5 feet over her head. It'll be a turnover for the Blue Jays. Kendall Miller, a lot of hustle plays in that last sequence, is lifted in favor of Corey Reese. This is a Westminster team, as I mentioned earlier, without two significant contributors tonight. Jane Williams not playing for her 5th straight game. Ray Mamora, I'm told, had ACL surgery last week. So Westminster figures to be without her contributions for a while. As this one winding down in the shot clock, Webster couldn't get anything to go, and Adams somehow comes up with that one off the defensive rebound, leaves it in the corner. Wolf, Dowler, no hesitation, pulls a 3, but it's no good. And Webster with a chance to get on score on the fast break. Morgan right to the cup, no good. She went up and got fouled. And I'll send J.C. Morgan, I beg your pardon, Lauren Freeman on the rip through that time, to the free throw line. Freshman out of Fort Worth, Texas, a long way from home in Timber Creek High School. Got a chance to contribute here this season. 11 points, her season high. That one's up, and the first one is good. Great free throw shooter. 67% clip for her on the year. Substitutions, Miracle Johnson, I should say, back in the game. Michaela Jackson is off. Corey Reese into the game along with her twin sister Abby. Kaylee Dowler and Kendall Adams wrap up the Westminster 5. As Freeman's able to bury both and cut it to 18. Substituted immediately off the floor in for Jasmine Bishop. Miracle Johnson inbound from under the Webster basket. Bishop kicked that one out of bounds. It'll stay with the Blue Jays. 6:17 remaining in this contest. Westminster a comfortable, to say the least, 18-point lead. They've led by as many as 20. Adams back the other way, dribbles across the timeline, rips it right on through. Reese with it now on the right corner. Steps right into it. A player hits the floor. It's Hunter down for Webster, but she comes right back. Unbelievable effort by her to get up and get that rebound. Right here, a whistle. Looks like that one went off the knee of Corey Reese. So it'll stay with Webster. But Westminster with a nice play to get in front of it. Morgan to inbound, gets it right down to Hunter, right off her hands. Great defense there by Miracle Johnson. No chance she's going to let you inbound right under her nose. Nonetheless, Hunter still with a commendable performance. 15 points, 6 rebounds off 7 of 11 shooting. Hunter, a mid-range jumper, add on to that total. 17 for her on the night to tie for the lead among all scorers. Adams and Johnson both with 17 for the Blue Jays as well. Corey Reese back the other way. Fancy dribble moves. Able to escape. Flips it over for Johnson. Now for Adams at the top of the key. 15 to shoot. Dribble drive here. Met with a ton of contact but no whistle. Coach Arnold extremely upset with that one. Bishop back the other way. Hunter now in the low post. Turns it right over. I guess in that case one could say the basketball doesn't lie. And Webster doesn't cash in on the no call. Kendall Adams really slowing things down here with under 5 minutes to play in this game. 71-55, the Westminster advantage. Dowler, left wing 3. It's good. Kaylee Dowler knocks down number 5 of the evening, and Webster counters with a timeout. The Blue Jays a 19-point lead in complete control down the stretch in this one. We'll be right back with you for the finish here on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Back in Fulton for the finish with this one. This is J.C. Morgan to inbound it, and I apologize to Webster fans for mixing up the jersey numbers between her and Lauren Freeman. But here she is in the corner with the chance for a corner three, and she knocks it down. That is J.C. Morgan scoring the three and cutting the lead back down to 16. Kendall Adams back the other way. 74-58, the Westminster lead. Adams now rips it back down. Abby Reese back over to Dowler in the corner. Movement away from the basketball, only 9 to shoot for the Blue Jays. They work it down low. Abby Reese, a feed down low. Johnson, no good, but she got fouled. She'll go to the free throw line. They are going to get Morgan on the call for that one. Her third. First team foul of this fourth period. Miracle Johnson at the free throw line. First one is up and no good. On the night, she's 5 of 8 from the charity stripe as Westminster gets in another substitution. Michaela Jackson back into the game. Hannah Cottrell as well. Johnson's second is almost bounced out, but a friendly hop there for Westminster. Maybe the story of the night. Been shooting extremely well all evening and get that one to fall. Morgan on the left wing. Bishop now. Clean shot clock, moving away from the basketball. Morgan in the corner. Down low, Cottrell works it around. Nice rejection there from Abby Reese to take it away, and a chance for Westminster to get out and run. Dowler leans into a three, no good. Fight for the rebound. Reese there colliding with Bishop. Neither one of them able to secure it, and it'll be a jump ball. In that case, it will stay with Westminster. Reese back on the bench in favor of Adams, and a substitution for Hegeman now, and Katie Jones back on the floor for Webster. It'll be Jackson to inbound. Clean shot clock for the Blue Jays. Referees currently conferencing. That is our umpire, Kaylee Davidson, and Mark Wallace discussing the circumstances of the jump ball. Certainly looked like he could have called for some contact there. So it'll be Michaela Jackson to inbound now. Base guarded by Naomi Johnson. No matter what the score, Webster has not been hesitant to press, put pressure on the Blue Jays. Up with it is Adams. Nearly got the friendly roll, but she got fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line. Kendall Adams, the Columbia, Missouri native, having a great night tonight. 17 points, knocked down 3 3-pointers. First free throw is up and no good. Westminster relaxes the defenses, puts 3 players back across the timeline. And the 78% free throw shooter makes good on 1 out of 2. 18 points to tie with Johnson for the scoring lead, and that's a pretty common occurrence for the Blue Jays. This is Morgan on the left wing. Back up top to Cottrell. Pulls from the top of the key, no good. Fight for the rebound secured by Jackson, and Westminster coming back the other way. 76-58, the Blue Jays lead. Nice defensive look here for Webster, and they can't believe the foul call. It looks like they're going to tag Katie Jones on that one in the scram for the basketball. Still some confusion on what exactly the foul call is. Actually going to get a player currently not on the floor. Strange situation here, but Webster the basketball. Naomi Johnson with it at the top of the key. 3:13 remaining in this game. Morgan floated that one wide and over the head. It'll be a turnover for Webster. And Westminster will come back the other way, ready to inbound. Here's Jackson. Relentless pressure from Naomi Johnson. Been great at face guarding all evening long.
Don't tell me to shut up. Don't tell me to shut up.
Apologize for whatever we picked up there. Coach Olofsson not upset, not exactly pleased with the officiating crew. They will discuss here. Kaylee Davidson, the head umpire tonight, discussing with the scores table. Keep an eye out if Olsen assess the foul here. Technical foul, I should say. About ready to play basketball once again. Dariana Hunter and Addison Busink really having a great night in the low post for Webster. Busink, as we mentioned, had the scoreless first half, but she rallied with 13 points in the second, 6 of 7 from the floor, and Dariana Hunter 8 of 12 in the low post. No technical foul called here. It'll be a common foul on J.C. Morgan. And the inbound here to Kendall Adams. Finally playing basketball again. Under 3 minutes left to play. 76-58, the Blue Jays lead. Kendall Adams gets a screen from Reese at the top of the key. Westminster slows this thing down. 2 players hit the floor, and they're going to call Reese for the travel. Abby Reese on the night, 2 points, 1 of 4 from the floor, but she's been all over making contributions and crisp passes to put Westminster in a good position. Good time to tell you that we will have the call of the men's game. It's about 7 o'clock now, so you can expect that one about 30 minutes after final horn here. And a great steal for Westminster, but Johnson's able to catch back up with it. And Katie Jones now right on top of it for Webster. Johnson to dribble drive. Stolen away by Adams, but a whistle. And it looks like she took too many steps. Substitution for Westminster. Corey Reese in for her sister Abby. It'll be Kendall Adams to inbound from under her own basket. Once again, relentless pressure from Webster. That's been their MO on the defensive end. Another whistle and a stoppage of play. Seems to be a common occurrence at this point in this game. The referees are going to allow Westminster to get some subs in. Confusion at the scoring table. Referees continue to try to figure out the foul call. Don't exactly know what they were discussing. Don't want to speculate. Once again, Miracle Johnson, the leading scorer for Westminster. Actually going to tag Webster with a 5-second call, so no inbound from the right of the court. Corey Reese now in as well. She inbounded it there to Michaela Jackson. Westminster just looking to put this on cruise control and ride out what could be conference win number 11 on the season. Adams dribble drive, floats it up, no good. Fight for the rebound. Miracle Johnson grabs the offensive board, flips it down low. Adams draws contact, goes up, but she traveled. Webster will get the basketball back as this one has really been broken up. Whistles all over the place here down the stretch. It's been a relatively clean game overall other than that. Hageman will inbound. It's Cottrell back in for Webster. 76-58, the Westminster advantage. Right under 2 minutes left to play in this one. Thank you so much for joining us here on a chilly Wednesday night. I hope wherever you're watching that you are warm and well. Jones tried to go in and float that one up. Took contact and hit the deck, but she couldn't finish. On the other end, Johnson to do just that. She couldn't finish it either. She did draw contact and a foul, so she'll go to the free throw line. They're going to tag Hageman her second on that one. Team fouls even at 3 apiece. Johnson's first is up and no good. Johnson's free throw line tonight, 6 of 10, which is about what one could expect. 66% free throw shooter on the year. A senior from Memphis, Tennessee, seeing her career here at Westminster wind down. And what a career it's been. For those who missed it, she passed the 1,000 career point mark earlier in the first quarter. Her second one is good, and that extends Westminster's lead out to 77-58. A minute and 35 seconds remain here in this game. Cottrell, left wing, Morgan. Back up top, Cottrell. Hunter weaving in and out, calls for the basketball and takes it down low in the post, and she floats up a jumper. Dariana Hunter now with 19 points. Great effort for her. It's likely going to come in a loss. But still a great move. Great move there by Kendall Adams, who goes behind the back, takes a couple steps in, and flips up a mid-range jumper. 19-point lead for Westminster, putting the finishing touches on what could be victory number 17. Down low, Hunter, handoff, cutting Naomi Johnson, missed the floater, goes back up with it, and jump ball here. Westminster will get the possession back, and it's a fitting end to what could be the final play of this evening on the defensive end for the Blue Jays. They played extremely well on both ends. Corey Reese in for Abby, and Jasmine Bishop in for J.C. Morgan and Naomi Johnson. Kendall Adams inbound, 50 seconds ticking off of this one. Michaela Jackson now goes left to right, and another whistle and a stoppage of play. Referees have not been hesitant to use their whistles here down the stretch. We get another stoppage of play in a conference between the head referee, Mark Wallace, and head coach James Arnold. Conference between the referees and the scoreless table. Once again, don't want to speculate, but a good time to get through some team numbers for you. 42% from the floor were the Gorlocks tonight. 43% for Westminster, so not much disparity between those two teams. Westminster shot the three ball extremely well. They knocked down 10 at a 35% clip. 11 threes attempted by Webster tonight. They only made good on 3 of them, 27% from that category. 69% from the line were the Gorlocks, 68% for Webster. So for Westminster, I should say, a very close game in this one. Also, 21 turnovers for the Blue Jays, 20 for the Gorlocks. The difference here, Westminster, 24 points off of those turnovers to Webster 17. So that's something that definitely separated the teams down the stretch. Also, the low post tandem of Kendall Adams and Miracle Johnson, something that really distinguished the two teams tonight. 40 total rebounds for the Blue Jays, 27 for Webster. And just to keep you updated, there is a conference between the referees and both head coaches of both teams. We've seen a lot of foul calls, a little bit of chippiness, a little bit of confusion mostly from the two sidelines. It's Jordan Olafson and James Arnold, the two head coaches tonight. There's only 49 seconds remaining in this game, and a 19-point lead for Westminster. They lead 79-60. So the Blue Jays clearly in control, but just ironing out some details between these two. Likely pleasantries exchanged there. No technical fouls called tonight, despite the chatter. Kendall Adams rocking her hands back and forth, clapping in anticipation of getting the inbound pass. She finally gets the basketball and a chance to throw it in. Michaela Jackson now moving right to left. Guarded tightly by Hegeman. They bring a double and they rip it away. At a whistle and a stoppage. And it looks like Jackson stepped out of bounds. So that'll be turnover number 22 on the night. Possession arrow is important to note is with Webster in this fourth quarter. Bishop down low. Rip through. No good. Put up. Wow. Turnaround jumper sunk by Dariana Hunter. Been really impressed by her tonight. 21 points on the evening. Corey Reese now. 24 seconds remain. Westminster can hold for the last shot. They choose not to, and they turn it over. Likely the last offensive possession of the evening for the Blue Jays as a group substitution comes on and gets a chance to see some players we haven't seen all night. Hannah Macon taking the floor. Connor Hadley as well. Kiana Andrews in, and Courtney Wolf and Jaden Moning, who we have both seen this evening, back on it for Westminster. In for Webster is Lauren Freeman. Also for the first time tonight is Alyssa McByers. Here she is in the right wing, 13 to play. They get it down low. Hunter looking to put up some more points on the evening. She got fouled, then we'll go to the free throw line. This will likely be the last chance for some offense. 76 79-62, Westminster the advantage, a 17-point lead for the host Blue Jays here on Green Dot Night. And in case you missed that, great chance to raise awareness and have tough conversations on issues of domestic violence and intolerance. Westminster able to raise some awareness tonight, and Hunter's first one is no good. She had a great night tonight, though. 21 points, 10 of 14 from the floor, 6 rebounds. No doubt the player of the game for Webster. Second one up, no good. Offensive rebound. Bishop goes right back up with it, no good, but she got fouled. We'll get some more free throws. 79-62, the Westminster advantage, just looking to put on the finishing touches in this one. They led by as many as 20, and they're settling in with this 17-point lead. Bishop's first is good. Jasmine Bishop, a sophomore at Edwardsville, Illinois, and Edwardsville High School, makes good on her second. So it'll be a 15-point lead for Westminster, likely the finishing touches on this game. The Blue Jays will dribble out the clock on win number 17 of the season. They pick up conference win number 11. Simple pleasantries exchanged between the head coaches. That puts the finishing touch on this one. Webster falls to 15-7, 9-5 in the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. Dariana Hunter led all scorers with 21 points tonight, 10 of 14 from the floor. Kendall Adams leads Westminster with 20, 6 of 14 from the floor, 3 3-pointers. And that is all for win number 17, game number 22 of the season for the Blue Jays. That's about all for now. It's been a privilege to have you join us this evening. We hope you stick around for the men's game. You can expect tip-off for that one in about 30 minutes. That will also be here on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Signing off for the final time on the women's game. We'll see you right back for the men's. I'm Garrett Jones. Big thank you to Kirsten Carney for making this broadcast happen here at Westminster. To all the fans for tuning in, and congratulations to both teams on a great game. See you in a couple minutes.